All right, hi guys, how are we doing today? So we're gonna do some different things because I've been getting a lot of requests for lymphatic work. Been treating a lot of people lately in my office who have actually needed a lot of lymph work. So I thought I'd just start a little bit today about that because it's actually really easy to do. I pretty much teach all of my clients how to do lymphatic work, just so they don't need to keep coming in and seeing me all the time. A lot of people who have chronic illnesses, chronic diseases, autoimmune disease, Lyme disease, it's super duper important to make sure that you're doing lymphatic work because the lymph is kind of, well, not kind of, but pretty much what helps keep things flowing. We don't want to have a lot of fluids or energy stuck someplace. It's very similar to the thinking of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. And that we want to keep energy moving and fluids moving. When that does not happen, then that's usually when we end up with disease processes. So we're going to start with some breathing drills. We'll probably do nasal breathing. We will do a couple other techniques. I'll teach you guys how to do spinal breathing today, which I don't think I've done yet. And then we'll go over a quick lymph protocol, something that should be pretty easy for most of you to do, even if you've never done it before. There is a full lymphatic protocol on YouTube that I have on my channel. There is a lymphatic playlist just for all these drills I'm going to show you. There is also a lymph course, which I've made on my website. If you'd like to have something that you own that you can refer to all the time. Today, what we're going to do is just part of the whole lymphatic protocol. There is a 6-phase protocol for lymph. And obviously, you don't want to try to go through all 6 at once because you might have a major detox or Herx reaction the next day. So we're going to start with probably the first 2 just to kind of get you guys going. And if you want more, you can reach out for me. You can message me, you can text me. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. So let's start with nasal breathing first. So again, wherever you're at, just try to find a nice, quiet place. Don't do this driving. Okay. So what we're going to do, you're just going to block your right nostril and you're going to breathe in through your left nostril and then out through your left nostril. Okay. So I'm going to breathe in and then out. Then I'm going to switch nostrils. So I'm going to breathe in through my right, breathe out through my right. Switch back to left in, left out, right in, right out. Switch. 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 And switch again. And you can go back and forth as many times as you feel like you need. Oftentimes I get people who say it's really difficult to breathe in through their nose. There are actually lots of things that you can do to help with nasal breathing. I actually have a lot of this information if you'd like to learn more about it in my breathing, bracing, and the pelvic floor course, which again is found from my website. It is a course that you can own. You can refer back to as many times as you want. It goes into the hows and whys of why we do all this different types of breathing. There's tons of resources for you so that you can learn how to become a better nasal breather. And there's lots of videos that I've uploaded too. Okay, so you actually have me demonstrating and showing you how to do a lot of the exercises that we are going to move through today. Some good things to do is, using a neti pot. I know not a lot of people like to use them, but trying to keep your sinuses clear. Oceans is something else that I like to use when I do get stuffy, which is very rare anymore. And taping your mouth shut, okay? If you are someone who snores, have sleep apnea, you often wake up in the morning feeling really, really tired, it's probably a sign that you're mouth breathing at night. Also, like you can kind of tell based on how your tongue feels in the morning if it's super duper dry, what your mouth feels like if it's real cotton bally. If you have issues with a lot of like dental issues or dental infections, red gums, that's usually a sign that you're mouth breathing too. Okay, so that is nasal breathing. The next thing I'm going to work on is a technique called the nod. This one you might have to repeat a couple times and try. Don't get frustrated if it stinks the very first time. And again, it's like an exercise, like anything else. You're going to learn how to do it and you'll get better and better at it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a big breath in through your nose. You're going to exhale all the air from your nose. Okay, this is a little different. We're not going to do mouth exhaling. Once you're done exhaling, you're going to plug your nose and you're just going to nod up and down. Okay, and you're going to keep nodding until you feel like you're air deprived or you need to go take that next breath in. The next breath in should not be a okay, because that means that you held your breath too long. Okay, it should be like a natural needing to go take a next inhale, not depriving your breath so much that you're gasping for your next inhale. Okay, so I'm going to take a breath in, take my breath out. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes just to practice here. Sometimes your first one may be, I don't know, 10 or 12 nods. We want to try to get up to like 40, 50, 60 if you can. So once you've done one, take a little breather. So just breathe normally. Good. Everyone looks like they're doing okay. And then we're going to repeat. And then we'll try again and then see if your number was a little better. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm going to do mine now. I'm going to take my breath in, and then I'm going to exhale out my nose, plug my nose, and then I'm going to nod. Okay. Good. How's everyone else making out? So I just went from 30 to 42, believe it or not. So if you want, just type in the chat box how much more you've improved, like your beginning and your end, where you were at. Well, that's pretty good, guys. So most people have improved at least 10 nods, which is excellent. Okay, let me show you how to do beginner lymph, okay? So we have 6 areas of our major ducts that you want to try to clear and open up before you actually start lymph work, okay? You want to make sure these pathways are open before you start basically opening up the floodgates and not having these major portals open, because then things are going to clog and get bound in there, okay? So you always want to start on your left side. All right, we're going to start left side above the clavicle, so above your collarbone. You're going to go right above and tap 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we're going to go to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the same spot. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the left side, but we're going to go up, so kind of like where our vagus nerve is, kind of behind our ear. We're going to tap 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing on the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to go collarbone under it, back to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to go, there's a couple different ways you can do your belly. Okay, I like to kind of, here's my belly button. So I like to kind of go above and below, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or some people like to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it doesn't matter whichever way you feel works for you. Okay, then we go into our hip crease. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to go behind my kneecaps, which I know you guys can't see, but where your kneecaps are, go behind. So in the crack of your knee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is step 1 or phase 1. Okay, 2 is the same thing, but then we're going to add arms and our legs. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. Start above my collarbone on the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the left below the collarbone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Above and below, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both groin areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then behind my knee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we move on to our arms, which will only be 3 taps. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice as I'm moving up the arm, I am moving a hand width. So whatever the width of my hand is, that's how high up I'm going. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Come back down, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, your legs, you can do it at the same time. I usually start from the outside and work my way up, but it doesn't really matter what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to go outside, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. After that, if you'd like, which you do not have to, but this is like a bonus, you can do some aggressive lymphatic breathing. Okay, so what you're going to do is take a big breath in, and then you're going to forcefully exhale. Okay, I'll show you from the side. And then jump up and down lightly on the balls of your toes for about 10 seconds. Very good. That's part 1 and part 2. I'm just going to stop there. There is a part 3, 4, 5, and 6. When you do the lymphatic work, you want to start phase 1 or 2. Okay, see how you feel. If you did this today and tomorrow you wake up and you feel pretty good, then you can move on to phase 3, and then so on until you get to phase 6. Okay. If you did this today and you've never done this work before and you wake up tomorrow feeling like crap, so you're probably going to feel either chilly, you might feel tired, you might feel like you're hungover, you might feel like you have a headache, brain fog, can't think very well. Those are all signs of that you're detoxing. Okay. Don't do any more that day. Just kind of lay low. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Lemon water is great to kind of detox the liver. You want to make sure you're squeezing 1 whole lemon into about 16 ounces of water. Okay. And then there's lots of other things you can do for lymph clearing too, which is a whole other video that I could spend hours talking about. But if you need help with like thinking or learning how to detox, again, you can message me. It's what I pretty much do every day for a living. So next we're going to talk about spinal breathing. So we've already done nasal breathing. We did the nod technique. We just ran through some lymph. So you might feel a little kind of tingly, maybe light. You might feel like some stuff draining in the back of your throat. That's all great stuff. That all means the lymph is moving. Okay. So spinal breathing, it literally is what it is. You're getting your spine to kind of breathe. Okay. When you look at spinal breathing, it should almost feel like a wave, or if anyone's ever like snapped a whip, how a whip kind of like flaps like a wave. Okay. So the same thing is what's happening when we do spinal breathing. So you can kind of start to see how there's a wave. Okay. Let me break this down for you. So your hips are going to go into a slight anterior tilt, okay, and then a posterior tilt. So the hips are going to be doing this motion as you're taking your inhale and your exhale, okay. Your ribs and thoracic spine back in here are going to be going in this direction, okay. So I like to kind of think of like a vector going right through me, so, or an arrow sticking out my back. That arrow or that vector is going to be pushing forwards and then pushing backwards. Okay, so there's like this kind of motion going on. And then we have the neck. So the neck's going to be going back and then forward, back and forward. And you can already kind of see as I start moving my neck, what happens to my ribs. Okay, so those are the three areas you're going to be focusing on. If it's hard to do all three, just think about maybe working on the hips and pelvis first. Okay, and then maybe work on the ribs. And then maybe do the neck last. Okay, and then try to put all three together. So let me show you what one's going to look like. Now I'm really getting my shoulders going too, which I didn't really talk about, but that you can also do. Okay. Some people like to do this. Okay, figure out which arm position feels better for you. I like to do this. But again, see which one works for you. Okay, so we're going to take our breath in. And as you're doing this, I want you to kind of think about where you feel restrictions, where you feel tight, where you feel like you're moving more in one area but not the other area. This is a good warm-up drill to do before you start working out or before you start doing any type of mobility or yoga. It really gets your body kind of primed, your nervous system primed, your breath primed, gets your spine all nice and loose, and it gives you a good feedback to kind of see, hey, what do I feel and what is going on inside of my bones and my spines and my joints, okay? I'm just watching you guys. And again, this gets better with practice. It's like anything else we do with the joint flossing and the joint mobility. You're not going to be a pro at it the very first time. This is why I like to use a lot of these movement drills, because movement is basically like a language for me. When I'm working with myself, it kind of helps me figure out or cue in what is working, what is not working in my body. It just helps me bring awareness to what I need to maybe focus on in my training. When I work with my clients and I'm screening them or I'm helping them through movement patterns, again, we use breath to kind of see or assess what is going on in the nervous system. So pay attention when you get into certain positions if your breath changes. That's going to be a cue to you that, hey, there's something not right in this position and I need to figure out what it is. So that's why I like to use movement a lot, because movement really is a language and it gives us pretty much instant feedback, so we can kind of adjust our workouts or adjust our movements. So you guys look pretty good. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Okay, so like I said, YouTube is free, Kimberly Bodywork. I have playlists for breathing, spinal breathing's in there. There's a playlist for lymph. I think it's been a while since I've looked. They're just little clips of me doing everything. It's not, you're not getting the full blown explanation. If you want full blown explanation with details, then that's what's going to be in the lymph course that I have right from my website. There's a section where you can go down to the online school and you can click and purchase any course that you want and you will own it forever. And I'm constantly usually updating some stuff and putting new information in. So you'll always have access to that stuff. Okay. All right. Well, good job today. And if nobody has any other questions, I will see everyone next week then. All right. All right. Bye-bye.